straight away. First thing first, let's talk about the evolution of money, how money got started, because we're discussing crypto, and it's important to see how things have started from day one. And if you can go on YouTube and try to research and go to Google, because we was never there at bartered system, what we happened in the history, how people used to trade with each other. They used to trade, for instance, if I have a wheat and I want to trade or buy something, I can trade my wheat with the rice. So that's how people used to trade in a few hundred years ago. That's how the trading was happening from one person to another. We know that system called bartered system. Soon after, we saw a physical objects just like gold, just like silver and any other metals that was getting used to trade with one or the other. Later on, we saw a physical paper money, and that's when the really things got started. When we were trading between each other with money, which we use till date. And then we saw a gold trading, people was trading in gold in the history, and then we saw a credit card. And most of us know when the credit card came, even if you don't, but it's not too far away. We can think when the gold trading was started and when the card payment was getting started. And then we saw electronical payment. And I'm sure all of you, if not all of you, then most of you today use Apple Pay or Google Pay. We don't even use cards anymore. We just swap the phone or we pay through the Apple Watch. We don't even use anything these days. We just pay by the phone, or we can do bank transfers. You can transfer funds from one place to another. You want to buy a car, you want to buy a house, so you don't have to take physical money to the banks or to the shops. You can do bank transfer, your products will be delivered. So that's how the evolution happened in money. And now very recently we saw a cryptocurrency. So if you see the whole cycle, how it started from day one, from bartered system to cryptocurrency. And if you see in last 100 years, every industry around the world has, have changed. Electronical industry have changed, evolved itself. The real estate industry, the oil and gas industry, every industry has changed apart from a financial industry. Our financial sector as a structured the same way of 100 years ago. So we have a same plan for last 100 years, which we've been using till date. And that is not a great idea in today's society, because today we are talking about metaverse. We are talking about Web 3.0. We're talking about NFTs. We're talking about cryptos. We're talking about online payments, moving a big, large chunk from one place to another. And that is where the cryptocurrency whole concept comes about. And it's really important to understand. So, ladies and gentlemen, today's call is very, very important that you make note. I'm not sure if we ever going to see each other again, or maybe we're going to have a chance to meet each other, but it's very important that you understand the whole concept and you understand what is going on in the world and why you should take action right now. It's not necessary that you be a part of Nexorize or hold any M coins, but it's very necessary. It's very, very important that you understand that where we are heading, and are you on track or you off track? Because today is the time. If you're off track, bring yourself back on track and learn the art and master, because 2 years from now, you will understand even more, because the world is moving towards crypto and blockchain and evolution and metaverse super fast, and media is just giving us a wrong information. So I've got this chart in front of me, and I know it's not a very good image, so maybe it's blurred, you can't see it properly, so I do apologize for that. But let's see what happened in the history, because you see the same information on Bloomberg or CNN or any other media channel, The way they explain, a normal person can never understand what is this chart about. And no, even I don't understand the language that they use, the terms that they use is not for a normal person. But here am I, my job is to break things down so a 5 years old can understand as well as 80 years old can understand. So I'm going to break it down like super easy for you to understand what happened in the history. So we saw how the barter system was working and a gold trade was working. Everything was in a flat line. If you see from 1895 to 1970, a flat line, just a flat line. So we see everything was fine. We didn't have even though we went through World War I and World War II. We went through one of the hardest time in history, have seen one of the worst times. And you can see a small spike in 1915 to 1920. That's when we had a World War I. Even then, we never had a big spike up. Economy, even it wasn't crashed that badly. But what happened in 1970, I've marked that 1970, and from here onwards, we are seeing one of the worst recession ever, and it is only going to get worse. So the question you and I need to ask ourselves, what really happened in 1970? Something really big happened in 1970s, which has changed the history upside down. So let's get to bottom of it. What really happened in the history in 1970? Now, before I go there, let me tell you this. Before 1970, you know what bank can do. So bank can only produce the paper or the money, we call it, based on how much gold they have. So for instance, if the bank of if the treasury of United States have 100 kilos of gold, they can print the money based on that gold. They cannot print more money. And if they want to print more money, they have to sell their gold to print more money. So that's a whole cycle. But guess what happened? So how many of you recognize this person? I'm not sure if some of you do recognize. His name is President Richard Nixon. In 1971, they came up with the idea that from now on, the paper money will never be backed up by gold. So the banks have a permission to print as much money as they want. So there is no limitation. So they can print as much money as they want. Now, because now everything comes down to a monopoly of some governments or G7 or some community that they can print as much money as they want. Guess what happened? We saw the big spike, which I showed you, what happened in 1970 and moving forward. We are right now, Europe is going through 10% of inflation. That is bad for us. And I always give this example. Just imagine if we have 10,000 pounds or euros or dollars, and we want to do a saving, and I put this $10,000 in a savings account, and then for next 5 years, I think I'm not going to touch that because I want to save money to buy a house. I put that $10,000 into my saving account, right? And then I go to work. Because the inflation rate is 10% in Europe per year. So what does it mean? It means your money is losing value 10% every single year. So by the time I get to year 5, I've lost 50% of the money. You will have $50,000 in your account, no doubt. But the value, the power of the money will go down, and that is called inflation. And that is why we don't like this whole thing. And then we have another problem. Another problem is right now, only 2 billion people around the world are banked people. People are not banked. People does not have access to the bank accounts. Now, depend which region are you on right now as we talk, you can check the sector. I mean, if we just talk about Central Europe, which we call a big European countries, 50% people are unbanked. They don't have access to the bank. Asia, South Asia, 59%. And then, Southeast Asia, 58%. Middle East, 67%. And Sahara Africa is 80%. Latin America, 65% people don't have access to the bank account. Why? Because the KYC procedure they have is very, very tough. People to get themselves, get to the bank, hold their money into their own possession. And that is very, very bad for the people who does not have access to the bank. Because all of us, or most of us, we live in a first world countries. For us, having a bank account is so easy. We are born with this idea that to have a bank account is normal, isn't normal to have a bank account. But if you see these numbers, they're very scary, which means more than half of the population of the world never have a bank account. They never got a chance to open a bank account because the way the system has placed is not very good. It's a very difficult system to have your accounts. That is why we need crypto. That is the reason we need a crypto. Now, the question you might be thinking, am I too late in crypto? Have I joined late, or people have already joined, or am I late, or am I on time? Guess what happened? Even till date, we have Nigeria, who has the biggest crypto holding of 32%. Vietnam has 21, Philippines 20%, Turkey 16%, and the list goes on. Now, based on which country you are right now, you can look at the flag and see how many people in your country, percentage-wise, per capita, hold cryptos or any sort of crypto they hold. And they're only few, because right now we are still so early in this industry. And this is going to take over anyway. Crypto is going to take over, because we saw in the previous slide, our financial system has flaws. That's why it's broke. That's why it's not working. That is why since 1971, the inflation is just getting worse and worse and worse, and it never recovered, and it will never recover. That's just too easy to explain this. Just imagine if you buy a machine from outside or from a shop to print money at home. Can we allocate how much money you have? Of course not. You can print as much money as you would like, because there is no limitations on how much one can produce. And that is a problem. And crypto solves this problem, because in crypto, we have limitations. You cannot exceed more than that. Just to explain you even further, imagine a Rolex launch a new watch called Rolex Gold or Rolex Diamond. And they are saying, we only going to make 100 watches, and we never going to make 101. We're not even going to make one more watch. 100, that is it. Can you imagine what will happen to the price of that watch? It will skyrocket. Why? Because more demand in the market and less supply. The value goes up. Same thing in crypto or Mcoin, because it's only 500 million of coin. And when demand goes more, supply will always remain the same. The value drives what? Up. That's you need to understand. That's why we need crypto, because it cannot be produced just like a cash. Because the issue with cash is, because it's not backed up by gold anymore, and there is no stoppage, the banks can get together, the G7 can get together, print as much money as you want. So why it's not fair with me? Imagine if I work so hard, save money for my kids, for my future kids, for my next generation, I save money, and guess what happened on the other side? Banks are producing more money every single year. The money you and I hold in the bank account loses value. And now you can do a research. Europe is going through 10%. UK is not far behind. We are almost head to head. So 10% every single month we're losing on the money. So 5 years now, I save 50,000, 10% every year. My money actually left with, if it's 50,000, 50% gone, $25,000 left in my account, which is not good. It's not fair. It's not fair with me. And why is happening? Because of inflation. That is why we need crypto. Now, Amit gave a very, very good explanation early on. When we come to crypto, crypto is a holding business. Just to understand this even further, imagine you bought a flat or apartment or any asset class. It could be any asset. You bought a land in your country, you bought a house, or you want to invest money and buy. Why people invest in house? Because they know it doesn't lose a value. Along the time, it will always go up. That's why people think that that's the best investment, to buy a house, to buy a flat, to buy apartment. And have you ever met anyone who bought a house or a flat or an apartment and sold next month and expect to make any benefits or any profits? No, it takes time for the value to go up. It takes time, right? It takes time for the market to drive the value for your asset to go up. Now, what you hold with us is a digital asset. Simple. It's a digital asset which you hold. Just like, you buy an Amazon membership or a Netflix membership is your digital asset, right? And also a membership, any on Spotify is your digital asset. You hold that asset. So you need to understand that Mcoin is also an asset. And great things take time. And I've said that in our last event. And I gave this example, but we were missing this image. And a lot of people were texting me and asking me, what do you mean by those coins? And these are some of the project which is very, very close to what we are trying to do or what we're trying to accomplish. Like I said to you before, crypto is a holding business. Some people want to come in and get rich tomorrow. They will ultimate fail, or they will leave, or they will say the project is a scam, or it doesn't work, or because they want to get rich yesterday. In crypto, it's not going to happen. A legitimate project will take time to grow. We see example of a Polygon Matic. It started in 2017. It took roughly 4 years to literally go from a $0.026 dollars to $2. It took them 4 years. Same we see a Polkadot started in 2017. It took them again 4 years to really kick off. Same thing happened in Solana. It took them 4 years to really kick things off. So it takes time to develop a good team, good project, good ecosystem, and then you go to the moon, and then things happen. And we have something very similar happen to us. We started back in 2021 with Mcoin starting with just only 10 cents. And we hit our all-time high of $1 May this year. And right now we are anywhere between 65 to 70 cents. And our prediction is in next 2 years, we will be anywhere in 2 digits. It could be $10, it could be $50, it could be $99. But everything is based on the community. Like Ahmed have already mentioned, it's based on the community, and we will always win on the community side because we are in network marketing. We are in MLM marketing. We will always win on the community side. This whole crypto business based on community. Do you understand? So this is how the whole concept of crypto, of the money, and here we have a beautiful ecosystem. You're probably thinking, what will drive the value of Mcoin to the sky? These are some of the things that we are doing right now, as of right now, and we've got some of the things that we are focused to do in future. So we have a great ecosystem. Any project that you see, they have a great platform, great team, great ecosystem. We also have a very, very great ecosystem. We have our own blockchain, own coin, own educational platform. We have a digital services, and NFT platform is also coming, very, very soon. A gaming platform is coming soon. So there's a lot of things that we are doing. And that is why this is essential for you to understand that this is the time that you need to take part in crypto, and especially make sure that you and your family members and your loved ones, just like you see a good film, you always come back and share with your family, friends, and loved ones. You must go watch it. Same way, whatever we discussed today, you have to go out and explain people what is happening in the world, because the media will not show us this. Because we call it, it's a controlled media. They will show you what you really want to see. Based on your preferences, they will show you according to that. And we don't want that. We need to see the reality. We need to face the reality. And the reality is that current financial system has broken. There's so many flaws in it. It has not been updated in the last 100 years. And imagine if you have an iPhone, and if you don't update your iPhone, after 1 week, your iPhone will start working very, very slow. And if you go to Apple and they will ask you, please update your software in order for you to get everything latest. Same way, our financial system is not up to date. And the thing which will update our system is crypto. And if we talk about crypto, we have one of the best platform available for our community to take part in, because we work closely with the, with everything is getting developed in front of us, and we have, we can see things in and out. Having said that, my time is up. I hope in this last 30 minutes, I've been very, very precise and of course, yet detailed, because I really want you to understand that what happened in the past and what is happening today and what is going to happen in future. And the best advice you can give to someone, which I've learned, is be honest and show them what is happening around the world, so people can really wake up and take action, because the crash is just going to be worse and worse and worse. The question you guys need to ask yourself: are you in it to make change, not only in your life, but the life of others, which means your friends, your family, your loved ones, or you're just going to be in a rat race? Either way, you are free to make a decision.